Chapter 41. Spirit Valley. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Translator. Nyo.io Studio Editor. Nyo.io Studio. Spirit Valley was located in the far south of Tianwu Kingdom, considered by most a no-man's land. But as with most things, the higher the risk, the greater the reward. Some adventurers were even willing to risk their lives in pursuit of the treasures within Spirit Valley, but most ended up there for eternity. All that was left were piles of bones and empty skulls with nothing but sorrow and regret. On the other hand, others who dared enter Spirit Valley and survived, returned with the treasures left behind by heroes of the past and became stronger than they ever had been before. Over the past 10 days that Yi Mo and Qi Ying had been traveling, through forests and mountains, they encountered quite a few vicious beasts. Fortunately, they traveled at a swift pace, meaning they had avoided most of the beasts in the forests. Most beasts that were of spirit-cultivating realm and energy-shaping realm were able to use beast magic, but were not intelligent. As long as you did not provoke them, they would not attack you on their own accord. For beasts that were of the true energy realm, their intelligence were on par with a small human child. Unlike the others, these beasts attacked without warning or reason. Although they tried to avoid them, they still fought some spirit-cultivating realm beasts and collected their beast cores. The stones were all colors of the rainbow, about the size of a small egg, and emitted a strange glow. These beast cores were rather useful as they contained a beast's entire lifetime of Yuanli and could serve as a Yuanli reserve. They were also a key ingredient in making charms. Yi Mo was panting a little by the time they passed the 100th mountain. Fortunately, the rising dragon pillar was absorbing Yuan Qi continuously, replenishing his dragon energy along the way. Qi Ying expressed genuine surprise when she noticed that Yi Mo, who had not even reached spirit-cultivating realm, was able to keep up with her throughout the 10 days of traveling with no breaks in between. Even for her, a martial artist of energy-shaping 7th realm, this journey had been rather taxing. What a weird young man. Spirit Valley is just up ahead, remarked Qi Ying. Looking towards where she was pointing, all he could see was a pitch-black valley, where even the 2 mountains on each side were both entirely black. Dense, dark fog surrounded the entire terrain, forming an ominous atmosphere. Follow me closely. This place gives me the creeps, said Qi Ying as she slowly headed towards the valley. Just behind her was Yi Mo, who was fully alert as he had never ventured into these lands before and treated this as a learning experience. Even beasts' feces could be useful. Rubbing it all over one's body could mask their own scent and thus made sure one would not be detected by other beasts. Some places were heavy with evil energy, meaning that one should take preventative medication before entering any of these places. These were all pieces of new knowledge he picked up from Qi Ying. When they reached the entrance of the valley, they were greeted by the sight of bones, piles and piles of dry, ashen bones, dotted with small insects and cobwebs. Occasionally, a terrifying roar would sound from within the valley. Strangely enough, despite strong gusts of howling wind, the dark, purplish fog that encircled the valley did not dissipate. This purple fog is odorless but highly poisonous. For beginners, this is the leading cause of death. If I had come here alone, I probably would have ended up like these people, said Yi Mo with a wry smile. Let's go, said Qi Ying as she slowly disappeared into the cavern with Yi Mo following behind her. Within the valley were 2 pitch-black, impossibly high walls. The color was a result of the dark fog that was so thick that it was impenetrable even by sunlight, giving the whole place an eerie aura. I sense a vicious beast up ahead. Yi Mo broke out in cold sweat, and the 2 of them quickly hid behind a small hill. This beast was enormous and brown all over, resembling a large grizzly bear, except this beast had a sharp horn on its forehead and was twice as fearsome. It was a horned bear. Horned bears were generally of spirit-cultivating 3rd realm, and this particular bear was devouring a dead beast, its snout grisly with blood and meat scraps. I'll finish this bear off. Now that Yi Mo had unlocked his leg gates, coupled with the fact that they could each channel 3 units of dragon power, he was essentially of the spirit-cultivating third realm. With his trusty formation, breaking spear in hand, beasts of spirit-cultivating third realm were easy pickings. With a leap, Yi-Mo emerged from hiding. The bear stood up immediately, sensing Yi-Mo's presence. It glared at him, and with a jolt of its head, a beam of brown Yuanli was released from the bear's horn and shot towards Yi-Mo. This was the so-called beast magic cast by beasts. In simpler terms, its human equivalent would be martial techniques used by humans. Certain beasts were so powerful that they could even cast human martial techniques, and along with their relatively high intelligence, they were certainly formidable opponents. Yi-Mo spun his spear in his hand several times, dodging the Yuanli beam and aiming straight for the bear's brain. The horned bear slapped a great paw towards the spear, yet a strong current rippled out of the spear from Yi-Mo's right-hand gate. The power of all three dragons bursted free all at once, all charging towards the bear. BDNV. The bear took several steps back as it absorbed the shock. It waved its paws in the air in disorientation, and with an angry roar, it rushed towards Yi-Mo, stumbling, causing the ground to shake. Yi-Mo stood firmly on the ground, spear in hand, and used one of the spear's signature moves, Voyage of the Dragon. He, along with his spear, started to spin at an incredible speed, forming the shape of a dragon and impaled the bear with a loud shink. Yi-Mo turned back and saw the large hole he'd made in the bear's chest. With one last unyielding look at Yi-Mo, the bear fell onto the ground with a loud thud. Although the bear's flesh was very tough, it could not withstand the spear's attack. Although Yi-Mo used Voyage of the Dragon and stabbed the bear, not a single trace of blood landed on him. Only a small bit of blood was smeared on the tip of the spear, but even that was completely absorbed by the weapon. Yi-Mo poked around the brains of the horned bear and retrieved a small amber-colored stone. This bear was an earth-type monster. Naturally, its core was also of earth-type. You easily defeated the horned bear despite not having reached the spirit-cultivating realm yet. How astonishing, said Qi-Ying as she emerged from the shadows. This can't be the only thing you're surprised about, said Yi-Mo as he grinned. His words rang true. Not only did he defeat a beast of spirit-cultivating third realm, he was also able to produce rank 3 stabilizing pills containing unique markings and fragrance. Looks like you have many secrets, young man. I can't wait to uncover them all, said Qi-Ying as she chuckled. Well, I can't let you do that. But I can let you uncover my clothes, Yi-Mo joked. The rising dragon pillar was his only secret, and he certainly did not want anyone discovering that. The two bantered as they traveled deeper into the valley. The valley was surrounded by thick purple fog, meaning that their vision would be severely obscured. They came to an abrupt stop after a while as the sight of a pack of wind wolves gorging themselves on a corpse greeted them. Vile creatures. With a leap, Yi-Mo hurled himself towards the wind wolves. How dare they disrespect the dead like this? Chapter 42. Wind King Wolf. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Translator. Nyo-i.bo Studio Editor. Nyo-i.bo Studio. Wind wolves were only of spirit-cultivating second realm, so even if there was a whole pack of them, they were no match against Yi-Mo. Yi-Mo lunged head first into the pack of wolves, which angered them seeing as he disturbed their feeding. With a swipe of their claws, several blades of Yuanli wind sailed towards Yi-Mo. This technique was the wolves' beast magic, yet as they were merely spirit-cultivating second-realm creatures, the technique barely made any impact. Yi-Mo spun the formation, breaking spear in his hands and threw it at the wind blades, where upon impact, the blades dissipated into a thin mist. He rushed towards the pack, and with a loud thwack, blood splattered everywhere, and the wolf hit by the spear howled in pain. Yi-Mo maneuvered through the horde as if he was an army general battling thousands of enemies, bold and unafraid. Within a short while, Yi-Mo had taken down all the wind wolves. What a peculiar spear! It absorbs blood and converts it into evil energy. The residual blood left on the spear had vanished in the blink of an eye, and its previous color, a warm gold speckled with blues and blacks, began to show a tinge of crimson, the color of evil energy. Yet this shade paled in comparison to its appearance at the auction, its deep red shade whispering the atrocities its previous owner committed, the people they killed together. Look out! An enormous blade of wind hurtled towards Yemo. This blade had no shape, yet it encompassed large, tumultuous bouts of Yuanli. It sliced through the thick purple fog easily. Even if a boulder stood before Yemo, the blade would have still sliced through it like butter. Realizing he did not have time to dodge it, he placed his trusty spear before him as a shield. Just as the blade was about to hit, a wall of black, sheer Yuanli appeared before him, causing the blade to sizzle and sputter, several cracks appearing on the wall as a result. Wu. With a mighty howl, all of the purple fog in the area was blown away, and a 30-feet-tall wind wolf leapt into view. This gigantic wolf was the size of a small hill, its coat comparable to a sheet of metal, sleek with a brilliant white sheen. Even its eyes held a tantalizing glint. Yemo, run! This wind wolf has evolved and is now a wind wolf king. It has reached energy-shaping realm. A wind wolf king in energy-shaping realm meant that it was intelligent. After witnessing Yemo murdering its kin, it made its intention to kill Yemo very clear. The wolf lashed out with its sharp claws, causing the surrounding air to vibrate. A large blade of wind hurtled towards Yemo, but Qi Ying was quicker. She unsheathed a black, bejeweled sword, and with a slash, a huge sword projection appeared. Ping! The blade and the projection clashed, and several small mounds in the vicinity all exploded upon impact while pieces of flew shrapnel everywhere. The fog that had formed just a moment ago was blown away once more. Seeing its wind blade being fended off by the woman before it, the wolf opened its mouth, and with that, a wave of Yuanli poured out and formed a large, white Yuanli sphere. It shot towards Qi Ying like an arrow, the raw power radiating off the sphere causing the air around it to buzz with electricity. This wind wolf king was, evidently, very intelligent. Creating a Yuanli sphere required a substantial amount of power. Qi Ying tensed up at the sight of the sphere. Much to her surprise, she did not think that the wolf would use this particular technique. She tilted her sword in preparation for the strike. Sword exuding a dazzling gleam, with a flick of her arm, she motioned cutting the air before her, immediately shattering the Yuanli sphere. What a powerful strike! Deceptively simple, it in fact demonstrates vast knowledge of swordsmanship and mastery of the execution. Watching the fight unfold, Yemo could no longer hold back his astonishment. He could feel the sheer power emanating from the sphere, yet with one strike, it was smashed to smithereens. One could train with any weapon and learn to use it with the power of will. But only with total comprehension and mastery over the weapon could one use their weapon with willpower. With the power of will imbued in a weapon, each strike, each blow, would harbor vast reserves of power. Yemo had just learnt the formation, breaking spear techniques and still had no idea how to use the weapon's will, but he firmly believed that he would master it one day. The Wind Wolf King did not anticipate such retaliation from the woman standing before it. It shot a baleful glance in Qi Ying's direction and, with that, fled. Yemo, stay here. Wind wolves hunt in packs, so this wolf's partner may still be around. I can take down one at a time, but not two simultaneously, said Qi Ying, spreading the black butterfly wings that formed on her back and made her way to the deep interiors of the valley. Qi Ying, with her graceful frame, really did resemble a butterfly. As she left, Yemo became more vigilant. Rather than staying here waiting, I may as well catch up to her, thought Yemo. With his formation, breaking spear in hand, Yemo traversed along the valley, passing small hills and making his way further in towards the deep interiors of the valley. He suddenly realized the eeriness of the valley as he noticed a sizable river inside the valley. The river appeared as if it was a sword that pierced through the valley horizontally, blocking his path. Roughly 30 feet wide, the water was a dark shade of purple and was still as a statue. A soft breeze caused a few dead leaves to drift down, and when the leaves touched the water, strangely, they sank. How odd! Yi Mo exclaimed. There must be something wrong with the water. Yi Mo dared not cross the water, so he walked along the riverbank. As he walked, he passed by a small bush with quivering yellow leaves. Hearing voices coming from behind him, his heart skipped a beat and he quickly darted behind the bush. Come on, everyone. Surround the Yin python. We've already ingested the antidote, so no need to worry about its poisonous gas. If the snake is here, Yin poison grass must be close by. 5 spirit-cultivating realm martial artists, all wielding longswords, bodies tense with apprehension, enclosed a giant python. This python looked to be roughly over 30 feet long, and was hissing and flickering its forked tongue at them. Because of the thick purple fog, Yi Mo couldn't make out the faces of those people. Yin poison grass. Yi Mo thought. He stayed hidden behind the bush. Revealing himself without knowing the extent of the python's abilities would be foolish. His gates could now handle 3 units of dragon energy, equivalent to spirit cultivating 3rd realm. Coupled with the formation, breaking spear, he could perhaps fend off spirit cultivating 4th realm enemies. As he observed the python, he noticed that it was quivering, due to the bouts of Yuanli coursing through its body. Clearly, it was a formidable opponent. Go! One of the spirit cultivating 4th realm martial artists rushed headfirst towards the python. In a flash, he was already facing it, sword unsheathed, with the power and stance of a king. Clang! A loud, metallic clang rang as if what he hit was not snakeskin but rather, steel. The Yin python shot a scornful look at the spirit-cultivating 4th realm martial artist, as if to say, pathetic. Do you honestly think you can take me down? The python swept its tail at the martial artist, stirring up a gust of strong wind. As the fog cleared away, they could see the silhouette of the martial artist, who was tossed away haphazardly. He fell into the river, and with a woeful cry, he sank into the deep abyss. With the fog cleared away, Yi Mo could make out who the 5 people were. People from Yi clan. Yi Mo thought. One of them was Yi Dalong, one of the supervisors in the martial arts division and of spirit cultivating 6th realm. The python's not very strong, but its skin is as hard as iron. There's no other way. To kill it, we must use magic weapons. Since they were not carrying any magic weapons, they could only retreat for now. Seeing them escape, the python did not chase after them, but rather, slithered towards the opposite direction, curled up into a comfortable position, and lay down for a nap. Behind it was a particularly captivating plant. It was violet-colored, its pointed tip like a twinkling purple gem. Soft violet vapors emanated from the plant, and it grew straight out of the riverbed. Yin poison grass. Chapter 43. Spirit cultivating 1st realm. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Nyo.bo Studio Editor. Nyo.bo Studio. Staring at the sprig of Yin poison grass endlessly exuding clouds of toxic purple fumes, Yi Mo considered the possibility that the color of the river, as well as the surrounding purple fog, were all due to the presence of this plant. Yin poison grass was a highly toxic plant. Any normal martial artist would avoid it like the plague. However, there were some evil clans that treat it as a sublime treasure. The martial technique they practiced was toxic fume style, where they incorporated poison into their yuanli. Staring at the python, Yi Mo dared not strike. Knowing that its abilities was of at least spirit cultivating 5th realm, coupled with its impressive defense, killing it would be extremely difficult if one did not have any specialized weapons. Naturally, some martial artists were capable of delivering a punch that could shatter one's innards whilst keeping the outer shell undamaged. However, they had to be at least of energy-shaping realm. His current mission was to find Qiying first, but Yi Mo had clearly lost track of her whereabouts. This was a vast valley with no end in sight. Apart from the Een Poison River, it was littered with small hills, wilted grass, and small streams, and the air was thick with purple fog and filled with the cries of beasts and monsters. Yemo found a spot where the purple fog was less dense and sat cross-legged on a large boulder, his spear stabbed onto the ground. Now that he had lost all contact with Qi Ying, he could only wait for her to show up. This valley was potent with danger. Many more dangerous beasts and monsters were lurking in its depths. The Yuan Qi of heaven and earth here is much more concentrated here compared to Limestone City, noted Yemo. His eyes shut, he directed 8 dragons towards his last gate, which was in his left hand. Once he unlocked his left-hand gate and successfully reached Spirit Cultivating Realm, not only would his potential greatly increase, but so would his physical capacity. Needless to say, the dragon power his gates could house would rise as well. 8 dragons hammering at the gate all at once felt like someone slamming a mallet on his hand repeatedly, an extremely painful ordeal. 8 dragons slammed against the gate repeatedly. As they started to fade, they were immediately replenished as the rising dragon pillar continued to absorb concentrated levels of Yuan Qi. Yemo directed the 8 dragons to his left-hand gate once more, and after a few rounds, he was gritting his teeth due to the intense pain. Crack. Fizz. Pop. Yemo clenched his left fist. Under the pressure of the 8 dragons, its gate unlocked. Before he could even react, his physiology underwent a cataclysmic change. His energy center could operate at 10 times its previous speed, the surrounding Yuan Qi was absorbed into his body at a much faster rate, and within his energy center was a sea of Qi. The sea of Qi was the key characteristic of a spirit-cultivating realm martial artist. Compared to corporeal strengthening realm martial artists, the quality and quantity of Yuanli both increased by several folds. As for the rising dragon pillar, it loomed over the sea like a hulking monolith, keeping things in order. His energy center was lapping up Yuan Qi at a tremendous speed. Soon after, the seemingly unending stream of Yuanli coursed through his body, strengthening each muscle, each vessel, and each gate. It was a speedy process, yet it brought about tremendous changes in Yemo's body. In just a few seconds, Yemo had grown a few inches, and even his face seemed to have matured. Roar. Within his energy center, the rising dragon pillar let out a great howl, comprising of the thunderous roar of millions of dragons. It began to absorb Yuan Qi at an incredible speed. Almost all the Yuan Qi in the vicinity appeared to be taken up by the pillar. Yemo knew that this was a sign of awakening another dragon. At this rate, he could possibly awaken quite a number of dragons. Supervisor Yi, I'm just sitting here, so why can't I feel Yuan Qi around me anymore? Not far from where Yemo was sitting were 4 people sitting cross-legged on the floor, also absorbing Yuan Qi and circulating their energy center. These people were the 4 Yi disciples that had faced the python earlier on. Yi Dalong opened his eyes and said, there must be a strong martial artist around here, absorbing Yuan Qi. Although this place is very dangerous, it's a really ideal place for replenishing Yuan Qi. Such staggering amounts of absorption must mean that the martial artist is on the verge of a breakthrough. Supervisor Yi, there's someone sitting there. Let's go check it out. Because of the thick fog, the 4 Yi disciples could not see Yemo clearly before, but as they approached him, they all stopped in shock when they saw who it was. Supervisor Yi, it's Yemo. Yemo. With a swipe of his hand, Yi Dalong swept away the obstructive purple fog. All he saw was Yemo, sitting cross-legged on a boulder, the surrounding Yuan Qi surging into his body in a continuous stream. The 4 looked on with disbelief at the sheer speed the Yuan Qi entered his body. Didn't he have his energy center sealed up by the head of our clan? How come he's here? And how is he absorbing all this Yuan Qi? Asked a spirit-cultivating third realm disciple incredulously. Look at the movement of Yuanli in his body, it's like he's entering spirit-cultivating first realm. How is that possible? Is he a mutant? Who cares if he's a mutant or not? He has merely reached spirit cultivating first realm, we have nothing to fear. Why does he have the formation, breaking spear? I heard that it's a magic weapon. Supervisor Yi, if you take this spear, I bet you can kill the python. Once I kill Yi Mo, I'll take it. A disciple in spirit cultivating fourth realm brandished his sword and slashed it in the direction of Yi Mo's head. The sharp blade left a glimmer in its trail as it headed straight towards Yi Mo's head. Even the cloud of energy that was seeping into his body was sliced apart. This was a mighty force indeed, one that could break apart boulders. Buzz! But just as the blade was about to touch Yi Mo's head, the formation, breaking spear that was planted firmly on the ground previously suddenly sprang into life, spinning in the air, and sailed towards the sword. Ping! The sword fell out of the disciple's hand and onto the ground with a loud clatter. What is this? The spear knows to protect its master. Maybe this spear is a spirit weapon. Spirit weapons were one rank above magic weapons. The residents of Limestone City had yet to see a spirit weapon. Kill Yi Mo and grab the weapon, hollered Yi Dalong. Obediently, the other disciples surrounded Yi Mo. Suddenly, Yi Mo's eyes snapped open. An overpowering aura emanated from him, as if a dragon dormant for many millennia had finally awoken, causing all four of the Yi disciples to take a few steps back in shock. What's with this guy? Why am I terrified of him? Yi Dalong thought in horror. Before him stood not a man, but a monster in the shape of a man. Yi disciples. Were you hoping to bully me? Again. Yi Mo sneered. He stood up, arm outstretched, and the spear flew into his hand obediently. The rising dragon pillar was absorbing Yuan Qi at an insane speed, awakening the power of 18 dragons. In addition to the 8 dragons he previously had awoken, within Yi Mo's energy center was now the power of 26 dragons. Reaching spirit cultivating realm and activating 18 bouts of dragon power in one go was an impressive feat indeed. However, 26 dragons were only a small portion of the rising dragon pillar's potential. And now that Yi Mo had reached spirit cultivating realm, with his gate strengthened, each one could now withstand 5 dragons at a time. With his dragon power, Yi Mo's prowess as of now was equivalent to a spirit cultivating 5th realm martial artist. Oh, I see you've improved. But you're still only a spirit cultivating 1st realm. He can already cause such a commotion at spirit cultivating 1st realm. He must be gifted beyond belief. He'll be a dangerous threat to the Yi clan, we must dispose of him right now. Chapter 44. The Dragon, Raging in the Wild. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Nyo I.bo Studio Editor. Nyo I.bo Studio. Yi Dalong led the other 3 spirit cultivating realm martial artists and charged towards Yi Mobl.net. All 4 4th realm martial artists attacked, dangerous auras overflowing within them. Yi Mo stood on top of the enormous stone and stared at the 4 martial artists. They attacked from all directions, blocking off any path that Yi Mo could use to escape. Yet Yi Mo kept standing still, not moving an inch, like he was too scared to move. Strong spiritual energies circled above Yi Mo's head before rushing down through his body. Suddenly, Yi Mo held the formation, breaking spear with both of his hands and swung left and right. Spinning at tremendous speed, the spear formed a barrier made of dark spiritual energy around Yi Mo. All the attacks landed on the barrier and were dispersed in an instant by Yi Mo. The 4 martial artists were shocked by what they had just witnessed. 2 spirit cultivating 4th realm, 1 5th realm, and 1 6th realm martial artist were not able to even scratch Yi Mo. Once Yi Mo had advanced to the spirit cultivating realm, 5 dragon energies rushed into his mind's mortal gate and helped Yi Mo simulate the last martial technique of the formation, breaking spear, the defensive martial technique dragon raging in the wild. Yi Mo wielded the spear in both of his hand and formed a perfect defensive barrier that could block attacks from any direction. Any martial artist weaker than the 6th realm would not be able to harm Yi Mo anymore. Yi Mo dispersed all the attacks and stared at Yi Dalong coldly. Yi Dalong was the strongest in the group. Killing him first would make Yi Mo's life easier. Yi Mo held the formation, breaking spear, turned his body like a dragon soaring in the sea, and stabbed towards Yi Dalong. The dragon emerging from the ocean is one of the spear's martial technique that focused on killing the enemy's general. Yi Mo's body turned at a very high speed, forming two channels of dark spirit energy around him that could both attack and defend. Now that Yi Mo had awakened 26 channels of dragon energy, his dragon emerging from the ocean martial technique was deadlier. It was impossible for the spirit-cultivating fifth realm martial artist to get near him. Is this really the strength of a spirit-cultivating first realm? Yi Dalong shouted in astonishment. He swung the long sword in his hand, leaving a trail of fire-red sword projection behind. 3 sword projections were formed and merged together. The air began to shake, and Yi Dalong swung his sword towards Yi Mo. Clang! The two weapons clashed, and sparks flew everywhere. The energy around them rolled viciously, and 2 spirit energies, black and red, spread in all 4 directions. The clash had caused Yi Dalong's mortal weapon grade long sword to bend. The mortal weapon was not able to withstand the attack and broke. Yi Dalong was thrown back by the clash. The 6-pillar sword style. So weak. Yi Mo smirked at Yi Dalong. Yi Dalong was not able to withstand Yi Mo's attack. Impossible. The other 3 martial artists shouted in disbelief. Yi Mo had just advanced into the spirit-cultivating first realm not long ago, yet he was able to send a 6th realm martial artist flying with a single attack. If he were to live and mature, he would pose a considerable threat to the Yi clan in the future. This Yi Mo has exceptional talent. He must die. Everyone, take out your swords and ready the 6-pillar formation. Yi Dalong shouted. The dragon emerging from the ocean had shown Yi Dalong how dominant Yi Mo could be. He knew that he was not enough to defeat Yi Mo. The strength from before was a force that could move the mountain and the sea. It was full of power. Even if the sword he held had not broke, he would still be sent flying. The other 3 Yi disciples quickly surrounded Yi Mo and took out their mortal weapon grade swords. The 4 of them swung their swords at the same time, on the same rhythm. So, they are able to invoke the 6-pillar formation on the same rhythm. Even though the Yi clan is kind of trash, their training sure is something. Yi Mo kicked the ground and sprinted towards the weakest of the 4. The sword formation will be useless if they can't fully invoke it. The martial artist's eyes widened as he saw Yi Mo rushing towards him, and his hand began to shake. Die! Yi Mo thrusted the spear in his hand and blasted the weakest disciple's head off. The disciple died with a face full of terror. With 1 man dead, the formation weakened. Yet the other 3 people managed to complete the formation and summoned more than 10 sword projections. All the projections began to circle above Yi Mo with a dangerous aura around them, much more dangerous than Yi Changsheng's 6-pillar sword style. A 3-person 6-pillar formation with a spirit-cultivating 6th realm in the lead could produce a high damage output. Yi Mo. For killing one of us, you'll die at the hands of the 6-pillar formation. Yi Dalong shouted, and the 3 disciples swung their swords towards Yi Mo at the same time. All the sword projections pointed towards Yi Mo and thrust. Cold as ice, the attacks were almost unstoppable. Yi Mo's face darkened as he shouted, I'm going to defeat the 6-pillar formation today. Yi Mo roared and kicked the ground, leaving a hole in it. He swung the formation, breaking spear and formed a black spiritual energy barrier around him. Dragon raging in the wild. The sword projections all shot towards Yi Mo but were reflected by the barrier, yet cracks began to form on the barrier. He's at his limit. Use all your spiritual energy and break his defense. The 3 disciples focused all of their remaining spiritual energy and formed a colossal sword projection. The projection stood high and mighty, like the king of all sword projections, and swung itself towards Yi-Mo. The projection landed its attack on the barrier and broke it, weighing Yi-Mo down into the ground and causing him to spit blood. The huge sword projection was formed by merging the spiritual energies from the three disciples. No matter how strong Yi-Mo was, he was still no match for the attack. Even a spirit-cultivating 7th realm martial artist would die at the hands of our formation. Even if you're strong, you're still no match for it. Yi-Mo picked himself up and jumped onto the huge rock. He smiled and said, "Now that you three are out of energy, I can easily kill all of you, even if I'm hurt." Yi-Mo, I never thought that you'd be able to get this strong. You're going to die in this spectral valley today. A voice suddenly shouted and a white figure landed in front of Yi-Mo. The three disciples noticed it was someone they knew and smiles began to appear on their faces. If the guy in front of them were to help them, they could easily defeat Yi-Mo. Chapter 45. Here, a present you are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Nyo-i.bo Studio Editor. Nyo-i.bo Studio. Naturally, the 5 disciples did not come to gather the Yin poison grass and fight the Yin poison snake alone. There was one other person, and that was Yi Hu's brother, Yi Tianxiao. Yi Tianxiao was famous. He'd reached the spirit-cultivating 7th realm at the age of 20. Yi Tianxiao had a refined face and held a red iron fan. He looked more like a scholar than a martial artist. He swung the fan, and a burst of wind blew away the purple fog that was surrounding them. "Kill me. You." Yi-Mo smirked. He held the formation, breaking spear in one hand and jumped towards Yi Tianxiao. Parlor tricks, Yi Tianxiao insulted and swung his iron fan. A burst of green-colored wine struck the huge stone like a million swords, slicing it to pieces. Yi Tianxiao swung his fan again, and this time, out came a green lion bearing its fangs towards Yi-Mo-L.Rg. This must be the green wind cultivation method. One swing could produce wind blades that kill. Yi-Mo used his spear to knock away the debris and ran. Yi Tianxiao was a spirit-cultivating 7th realm martial artist. If Yi-Mo had not been injured from the fight before, he might have been able to fight Yi Tianxiao on even grounds. But now that he was hurt from the 6-pillar formation, he had to escape and recover first. The green lion smashed the debris and disappeared into thin air. Yi Tianxiao looked at Yi-Mo and said, "Yi-Mo is just a spirit-cultivating 1st realm martial artist, yet he was able to defend himself against the 6-pillar formation formed by the 3 of you. If he were to join the Limestone Champion List tournament, he's going to be a threat to Yi Changsheng. He might even be a threat to the Yi clan if he continues to grow. I'll go after Yi-Mo first and leave trails for you guys to follow." Yi Tianxiao closed his fan and summoned winds to envelop both of his legs. He kicked the ground and ran straight towards Yi-Mo. Yi Tianxiao's speed was significantly faster than Yi-Mo's. He'd been practicing the green wind cultivation method. Thus, his speed with the wind god's kick was faster. "We'll chase after you after we've recovered some spiritual energy. We have to kill Yi-Mo no matter what happens." Yi Dalong shouted and sat down. He began to absorb the natural energies to cultivate his spiritual energy. Yi Tianxiao is a master of the green wind cultivation method. Plus, he's already at the spirit cultivation 7th realm. His speed is definitely faster than me. He could catch up to me in no time, Yi-Mo said as he swallowed a rank 2 healing pill, mind-refreshing pill. The last dragon energy in his energy center merged with the pill to heal Yi-Mo's body. "I'll have to find a place to hide." Yi-Mo's face darkened as he noticed Yi Tianxiao closing in. He quickened his pace and jumped over a few creeks in seconds. Now that his injuries were healed, Yi-Mo's speed increased, but Yi Tianxiao was still in pursuit. "There's a huge mountain ahead. I'll have to climb that mountain if I want to lose Yi Tianxiao," Yi-Mo said as he reached a mountain top. The purple and black mountain top was covered in fog, and the surroundings looked ominous. Wind wolves. Yi Mo noticed more than hundreds of wind wolves strolling around the grove not far from him. A wind wolf posed no threat if it was alone, but if they were hunting in a pack, they could be very dangerous to approach. Yi Mo laughed at Yi Tianxiao and ran towards the wolf pack. Wind wolves. What is he planning now? Yi Tianxiao left a mark for Yi Dalong and his gang and went after Yi Mo. Yi Mo stood on top of a massive tree above the wolf pack. The wind wolves were weaker than Yi Mo. Thus, they did not notice him standing there. Yi Tianxiao finally caught up with Yi Mo and began to charge towards him. Here, a present, Yi Mo said to Yi Tianxiao as he took out a few beast cores and threw them towards the wolf pack and Yi Tianxiao. The beast cores turned into bursts of light and hit one of the wind wolf that was eating its prey. Blood spilled out, and the wolf laid dead on the ground. The other wind wolves were surprised by the sudden attack and looked at the beast core, only to notice it was from one of theirs. Beasts would also train like humans. When they reached the true energy realm, the beast core would turn into a spirit pill which consisted of all their life's training. Yi Tianxiao caught one of the beast cores that was thrown to him and realized that something was off. The wolves began to howl, and all of them charged towards Yi Tianxiao. Yi Mo. Yi Tianxiao shouted and looked at the wolves that were launching their attacks. He opened his fan and swung towards the wolf pack. The wolves that were at the front line were split into halves. Yi Mo smiled. Those wolves should be enough to stall Yi Tianxiao for a while. What Yi Mo had to do at that moment was to find Qi Yin. With her help, they could easily overcome the Wind Wolf Lord. Yet the spectral valley was too big. How was he supposed to locate Qi Yin? Then, Yi Mo suddenly remembered that the both of them were there to look for treasures in the evil spirit cave. All he had to do go and look there. But then again, the valley was still too big for Yi Mo to find the cave. Plus, many beasts roamed the valley. Just as Yi Mo was lost in his thought, the formation, breaking spear began to move. It's vibrating. Yi Mo exclaimed. The yellow spear tip shook as if it was screaming. A wave of red evil energy leaked from the spear and soared away from him. I just got this weapon recently. It must be missing its original owner. Maybe the evil energy could guide me to the cave. Yi Mo quickly followed the energy and found the only red valley in the spectral valley a few moments later. Everything was red there, from the lights to the clouds. Even the fog was red in color. No plants could be found in the red valley. If one were to look at the valley from afar, it would look like a volcano that was about to explode. Yet, the red color was lava's, but, instead, were evil energies, the energies of death. These evil energies. This must be the evil spirit valley. The cave must be here somewhere. Chapter 46. The Evil Spirit Cave. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Nyo.bo Studio Editor. Nyo.bo Studio foreshadows approached the Evil Spirit Valley, all covered in claw marks and blood. That Yi Mo sure is vicious. We would have had a hard time if you hadn't used that attack charm in time, Brother Tianxiao, Yi Dalong said. That charm was given to me by the clan head, but it was intended for the Yin poison snake. Now Yi Mo has forced me to use it for other purposes. I'll never forgive him. Yi Tianxiao said in a cold tone while recalling what they had been through. Even though there were 3 charm masters in all of Limestone City, all of them were only a Phase 1 charm master. They would only create charms for their own clan and would never sell them to other clans. To martial artists of Limestone City, charms were considered treasures. Yi Mo just went into this creepy valley. Should we follow him? The spirit-cultivating 5th realm disciple asked. Yi Zhantian used to lead a team of martial artists to this particular valley, but the party never entered it, except for Yi Zhantian. Yet it was not long before Yi Zhantian retreated with a disturbed expression. Yi Tianxiao and his teammates had heard the stories, and they understood that the evil energy lurking around the valley could penetrate a person's body and consume their spiritual energy. Most martial artists that entered this valley never returned. This might be a threat, but that doesn't mean I can't do anything about it, Yi Tianxiao said and waved the iron fan in his hand, creating a massive green dot-colored fan projection that could cover the ground and block the sunlight. The fan projection swung down and blew a wind on everything on the ground. The red evil energy was blown away by the force. It was like the whole place was struck by a typhoon, blowing everything in its vicinity away. This was what a spirit cultivating seventh realm was capable of. What power! Brother Tianxiao, you must have held back when you fought Yi Mo just now, am I right? The young master could never defeat you. It was only bad luck that you did not enter one of the three major alliances back then. This valley is covered by mountains in 4 directions, and this is the only exit. Let's go after Yi Mo. We'll get him this time. The 4 disciples went straight into the valley searching for Yi Mo. That must be the evil spirit cave. The previous owner of the formation, Breaking Spear, must have left some treasures here, Yi Mo said as he saw the cave and ran towards it. Even though the cave looked normal, it was filled with evil energy. All of the evil energy in the valley originated from this cave. This valley is filled with evil energy. Even if it's not very ominous, normal people still wouldn't dare to enter here. Well, I suppose those disciples from the Yi clan wouldn't do anything even if they caught up. The rising dragon pillar inside Yi Mo could absorb every kind of energy there was. Even though the evil energy was the energy of death, it was still powerful energy to master. Some of the most powerful martial artists would choose to train with this energy instead, merging the evil energy with their spirit energy. There were no records of where the evil energy came from, but it was still a type of energy that could be used. All of the evil energy that had penetrated into Yi Mo's body was instantly absorbed by the rising dragon pillar. I wonder how many dragon energies I could awaken if I were to absorb all of the evil energy in this cave. Yi Mo murmured. He quickened his pace and stopped in front of the cave's entrance. The cave was filled with red evil energy and a huge pile of white bones was scattered around the entrance. Only lights as red as blood could be seen inside the cave as Yi Mo stood at the entrance, his blood pumping from excitement. What treasure is lurking inside this cave? Why would it emit such an evil aura? I could feel the death, the evil, the killing intent from it. Yi Mo thought. Yi Mo. You've no place to hide now. Yi Tianxiao shouted just as Yi Mo was about to enter the cave. Raging winds rampaged throughout the valley and blew away all the evil energy. How was my present? Yi Mo asked as he scanned the 4 disciples coldly, his eyes stopping on the strongest in the party, Yi Tianxiao. Yi Tianxiao closed his fan and said coldly, what can a group of wind wolves do? There's no place for you to run anymore, don't even think of fleeing. All 4 of them started to close in on Yi Mo. With Yi Tianxiao who had reached the spirit-cultivating 7th realm on their side, they were sure that they could kill Yi Mo right on the spot. If they could get their hands on the formation, Breaking Spear, they could easily defeat the Yin Poison Snake and take the Yin Poison Grass. Follow me if you dare. Yi Mo challenged and ran straight into the evil spirit cave, disappearing into the red light. Is he stupid? The 4th realm disciple shouted. Brother Tianxiao, should we follow him? He's not afraid of the evil energy in the cave, the 5th realm disciple asked. Yi Tianxiao slapped the 5th realm disciple and scolded, even the martial arts division head Yi Zhantian would not even dare enter the cave. Are you that eager to meet death? He's on death's row now. This cave is the source of the evil energy around here. Even true energy realm martial artist wouldn't even dare to step into this cave. Yi Tianxiao smirked. He thought that Yi Mo had ran into the cave because he had no other choices. For thousands of years, people have come to this valley only to return empty-handed. It's a pity that we can never get the formation, breaking spear ever again, the fourth realm disciple said. Yi Tianxiao scanned the surroundings and noticed that the evil energy began to cover the whole valley again. We're still not sure if Yi Mo will die in there or not. Let's retreat to the entrance and wait. We'll go back if he still hasn't come out after a day, Yi Tianxiao said. The evil energy began to cover the whole valley, forcing the four disciples to retreat. They believed that Yi Mo would probably die inside the cave, but Yi Tianxiao suggested waiting one day, just in case Yi Mo actually made it out alive. They could tend to their injuries and return to their original states. They could also prevent Yi Mo from escaping if he miraculously survived. They still had their eyes on the formation, breaking spear in Yi Mo's possession. Chapter 47. The 5 Elements Cultivation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Nyo I.bo Studio Editor. Nyo I.bo Studio. Yi Mo was not in a hurry to absorb all the evil energy in the cave. He noticed the further he went into the cave, the denser the evil energy became. The tunnel was filled with the bones of martial artists who had wandered into the cave. Their bones were different. One of them was even gold. It's been said that when a person has reached the true energy realm, their bones and muscles will be reinforced by the true energy into a steel dot-like substance. The golden bone must have belonged to a true energy realm martial artist. The evil energy that lurks in this cave could even kill someone at that level, Yi Mo thought. He noticed a jade-colored bracelet on the golden skeleton's arm. It was made from a material unknown to Yi Mo that could withstand the evil energy. Most of the weapons in the cave were broken and rusted. Could it be that this bracelet is the dimensional bracelet? The dimensional bracelet could open up a dimension for the user to store their items. Martial artists of higher caliber always wore a dimensional bracelet with them to store their weapons and pills. Naturally, the price of the bracelet was very high. Yi Mo had never met anyone wearing such a bracelet in Limestone City. It was a treasure where people would cover with their sleeve to prevent people from noticing they were wearing one. My dad used to have one, but it was lost after he'd lost all of his power. The dimensional bracelet of a true energy realm martial artist must have a whole lot of treasures in it. It would be a waste to leave it here, Yi Mo said, and removed the bracelet carefully from the bone and put it on his own arm. He thanked the dead martial artist before leaving. Yi Mo took a peek inside the bracelet with his dragon energy, wanting to check its contents. Yet his dragon energy was blocked by an invisible wall. No matter how hard the dragon energy struggled, it couldn't break through the barrier. The dimensional bracelet was shielded with true energy. Yi Mo didn't have the power to open it yet. If I can't open it with one dragon energy, then I'll use all of my dragon energies. Yi Mo willed all of his remaining dragon energy in his energy center to the bracelet. The energies kept charging the barrier until cracks formed on it. The dragon energy kept hitting the barrier. With more than hundreds of energies hitting the barrier, it finally gave in and exploded. Filled with excitement, Yi Mo quickly checked the inside of the bracelet with his dragon energy. He'd found a shapeless space in it, containing all sorts of stuff. One of the items was a high-grade bejeweled weapon, almost on par with the jade sword. The other items included a few thousand stabilizing pills. Buying everything in the bracelet could cost one of Limestone City's bigger clans all of their fortunes. The dragon energy kept on wandering in the dimensional bracelet and found another treasure. It was a simple jade scroll that contained a certain cultivation method. I've just advanced to the spirit cultivating realm and still haven't chosen what cultivation method to focus on. This might help. Yi Mo quickly materialized the scroll into his hand. By learning a cultivation method, martial artists could enhance their energy center's power and infuse their spiritual energy with a certain element. If the martial artist had trained themselves in flame-based cultivation method, their spiritual energy would be imbued with the fierce and scorching hot flame element. If they had trained themselves in water-based cultivation method, their spiritual energy would be imbued with the soft and humid water element. Of course, there were heresy groups that would train in other cultivation methods such as poison cultivation, sex cultivation, murderous cultivation, blood cultivation, and more. This dimensional bracelet is quite useful. I could even store my formation, breaking spear in it, Yi-Mo said as he stored the spear into the bracelet. Yi-Mo held the scroll on his hand. He felt like the scroll was an ancient artifact that had survived through many ages. He opened the scroll and read the introduction. The 5. Elements cultivation. The 5. Elements cultivation allowed the user to change their spiritual energy into all 5 elements depending on their need. The 5 elements were gold, wood, water, fire, and earth. I never thought that such cultivation method existed. It allows the user to control all 5 elements at their will. Why didn't the true spirit realm martial artist master it? Both martial techniques and cultivation methods could be classified by different levels. The lowest level was spiritual, followed by mortal, supreme, and deity. While most cultivation methods and martial techniques were written in books, some martial artists would carve them onto jade scrolls and imbue their souls into those scrolls. The jade scrolls allowed people to learn martial technique or cultivation methods by simply focusing their spiritual energy on it. The downside was that these scrolls could only be used once. Yi-Mo finished reading the introduction on the scroll and noticed that it was a low-grade spiritual level cultivation method. Most martial artists would not be attracted to it because it was the lowest grade of the lowest level. There was no way that a true energy realm would throw away their own cultivation method and relearn a low-grade spiritual level cultivation method. Even though this is a low-grade spiritual level cultivation method, it's still useful to me. Yi-Mo had never used his own spiritual energy to fight his enemies. He'd been relying on the dragon energy that held infinite amounts of power that belonged to an ancient deity that could stack on its own. Even if Yi-Mo were to learn a deity-level cultivation method, his spiritual energy would never surpass the dragon energy. Yi-Mo had even considered the dragon energy to be stronger than the power of gods and demons. Since I'll be mastering my charm and weapon-making skills, this 5. Elements cultivation might be the best for me, Yi-Mo decided. He crushed the jade scroll in his hand as a cloud of spiritual energy flew into his mind's mortal gate, helping him to understand the whole cultivation method instantly. Yi-Mo quickly sat down and started to meditate. His energy center started to work according to the cultivation method, and 5 spiritual cores began to form in his energy center. Each core represented a different element. The cores formed a circle and surrounded the rising dragon pillar. Red spiritual energy. The red spiritual core began to shine, and rays of red spiritual energy were directed to all of Yi-Mo's mortal gates. Yi-Mo extended 2 of his fingers, and a fiery red spiritual energy began to form around them. Yi-Mo recalled the red spiritual energy and summoned 4 other colors in succession. His spiritual energy could now control all 5 elements. What a wonder! If I could master this cultivation method, I could fully control all of the 5 elements. Yi-Mo thought as he stood. He bowed to the golden bones before going further into the cave. The evil energy became dense as Yi-Mo continued to walk into the deeper parts of the cave. He finally stopped at a deep pit from where evil energies flowed out like an upside-down waterfall. Inside the pit laid a beauty wearing silver armor. The beauty had been dead for a long time, yet her body was still in good condition. She even had hair on her head. The beauty in it must be a martial artist of an unimaginable level. The silver armor still hadn't lost its shine, like it was compelling anyone who stood in front of it to kneel before it. The endless amount of evil energy all came from a red jewel on the beauty's hand. What's that? Yi-Mo wondered just before he was struck by a series of spiritual attacks to his mind's mental gate and fainted. Finally, after 1,000 years, I've finally found someone who could enter this cave. I'm finally free. A naked girl came out from a hidden cave and dragged Yi-Mo's body back inside of it. Chapter 48. The Mysterious Lolita. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Translator. Nyo.bo Studio Editor. Nyo.bo Studio. When Yemo woke up, he noticed he was in a cave surrounded by a stone bench, a bed, and a table. Yemo was lying on the stone bed. A naked Lolita was sitting on top of his chest, kissing him. Yemo pushed the little girl away. The Lolita's hair was as white as snow and both of her cheeks on her face were pink. She looked like a living doll, even cuter than Xiao Qiao. Yet Yemo was not attracted to the little girl in front of him. The girl had sucked all of his spiritual energy. Even his 5 elements energy was depleted. If not for his dragon energy maintaining his body, a depleted energy center could cause his power to decrease drastically. Yi Qin had once told Yemo that there existed spirits or beasts that could suck humans' energy to increase their own strength. What surprised Yemo was that the girl in front of him was not the girl with the shining armor he'd seen before. What an odd one. You still have the strength to push me away even after I'd sucked your energy dry. The girl said and tilted her head while casually standing in front of Yemo. You fiend! How dare you suck my energy? Yemo scolded. All the bodies in this cave died because you'd sucked them dry, am I right? I'm going to kill you right now and stop your evil deeds. Yemo summoned the formation, breaking spear into his hand and controlled all 25 dragon energies into all 5 of his mortal gates. His power suddenly heightened, and everything in the cave began to shake. The little girl became angry when she saw the spear Yemo was holding. You mere human. The spear in your hand was that woman's weapon. It's a waste on you. It's enough to kill you. Yemo spun the spear and held it with both of his hand. He thrust it towards the Lolita and evoked the martial technique, twin dragons frolicking with a pearl. 2 spear projections merged together to form a massive projection and shot towards the Lolita. The power from the spear could destroy a mountain or overturn an ocean. A mere spirit cultivating first realm human would dare challenge me. A charm suddenly appeared in the little girl's hand. Even though the charm was not big, it was still a considerable size in the hands of a little girl. Yet the girl moved like a professional and thrust both of her arms out. The charm grew bigger and attacked Yemo, binding him like a mummy. A mere human challenging me. Even that woman was no match for me. I'm going to suck you dry, then I can ignore the evil energy and leave this cave. The Lolita started walking towards Yemo. Just before she was about to touch him, the charm suddenly loosened and Yemo shot the spear towards her. Shocked, the little girl quickly manifested a yellow charm and formed a shield to block his attack. Intriguing. Looks like there's a treasure in your body. I'll be studying it once I've sealed you, the Lolita said as she pulled out a black charm and attacked Yemo's energy center. Who is this girl? It's not normal for a person to simply pull out charms from nowhere. The charms the girl has used could be used to block his attack and restrain him. Yet, Yemo was not worried by the incoming attack. As long as the charm was drawn using energy, he could use the rising dragon pillar to absorb all the energies from the charm. Yemo did not evade the attack and allowed the charm to stick onto his energy center. The Lolita saw that the charm had successfully sealed Yemo's energy center and pointed at Yemo's nose. You're done, you human. Your energy center has been sealed with my sealing charm. Yemo acted like he was panicking, but in reality, he was secretly absorbing the magical beast manifested from the charm inside his body. The beast has taken the shape of a magical mink. Its size was larger than any magical beasts that Yemo had encountered before. It could even hold its own when facing the rising dragon pillar. The charm that was used was definitely a high-level charm. The little girl was glad to see Yemo struggling with the charm. She sat on the stone chair and crossed her legs. Hey, human. That charm is a rank 7 sealing charm, she said. If you try to use your energy, that mink will grow bigger and explode from inside. Now, you'll have to obey my orders if you want me to remove the charm. This Lolita is definitely not a normal little girl. Is she an extraordinary charm master or something? She could even use a rank 7 charm. Yi Mo continued to act scared and asked, "What do you want me to do?" The little girl nodded and clasped her hands. "Since you can enter this cave, that means you aren't afraid of the evil energy outside," the girl said. "Go and remove the sky blood pearl from the woman outside and bring it to me. And bring me some beast cores. I'll remove the seal once I'm satisfied with your performance. This is a rank 7 charm. It's not that easy to remove, is it?" Yi Mo asked, as he knew that removing a charm was harder than implementing one. "A mere rank 7 charm would pose no challenge to me. Go and bring me the sky blood pearl. I want to see how dead the woman is," the little girl ordered. Yi Mo nodded. The cave he was in was a small cave inside the evil cave. The huge pit was next to the small cave's entrance, and in it laid the body of the silver-armored girl. In her hand was the sky blood pearl. The little girl must have been terrified of the evil energy, or else she wouldn't be stuck in this cave. Yi Mo jumped into the pit. The little girl must have used some charm to block the evil energy out from the small cave. Yi Mo took the sky blood pearl, and blood-red lights began to shine from it. The armored girl turned to ashes under the light. Even her bones were gone. The only thing left behind was her silver armor. The sky blood pearl began to suck in all the evil energy it was emitting. In an instant, the vast amount of evil energy was gone. Yi Mo held the sky blood pearl in his hand with excitement. If he could absorb all of the evil energy in the pearl, it could increase his power significantly. So her body turned to ashes without the protection from the sky blood pearl. "I'm finally free." The little girl smiled as she exited the small cave. "What is this pearl? Why would it emit such powerful evil energies? Those energies could even kill a true energy realm martial artist." Yi Mo asked. "Don't worry about it, since you're going to die anyway." Chapter 49. Half-Deity, Level Charm Spirit. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Translator. Nyo iwo Studio Editor. Nyo iwo Studio. Yi Mo held the sky blood pearl in his hand and smiled. He'd guessed that the little girl wouldn't let him live even if he'd helped her. "What a vicious person you are. But don't think that you can kill me that easily," Yi Mo said as he willed the formation, breaking spear into his hand from the small cave. He pointed the spear at the little girl's head and said, "I'll let you in on a secret. Your charm has no effect on me. It was all an act. You human. How did you do that?" The little girl shouted in surprise and evoked various charms in succession. Yet none of the charms had any effect on Yi Mo. The Lolita became scared as she'd never met any person who could resist her charms. She was even able to toe-to-toe with the silver-armored woman. Now, after 1,000 years, she was destined to fall to the hands of a spirit-cultivating first-realm kid. "Your charm has no effect on me. Since you tried to kill me, I'm going to destroy you in return." Yi Mo reached his hand towards the little girl's head. Now that Yi Mo had strength on par with a spirit-cultivating fifth-realm martial artist, his phantom serpent palm was as real as a serpent pouncing upon its prey. The little girl was not weak at all. Even the strongest of the whole barren area might die in her hand. Yet Yi Mo could negate all of her powers. "Kill me. I'll absorb all of your energy." The little girl quickened her pace and became so fast that Yi Mo could only see her shadows falling behind her. The Lolita appeared behind Yi Mo and jumped onto his back. She opened her mouth and bit Yi Mo's shoulder like a vampire. Yi Mo felt his remaining energy being sucked out by the little girl. Enraged, the rising dragon pillar began to shake, and the dragons on the pillar began to roar. A black hole suddenly appeared and sucked the little girl towards it. The Lolita was enjoying sucking Yi Mo's energy when she felt a strong force pulling her in. What? What is in his body? Even a half-deity-level charm like me can't resist it. The little girl was actually a manifestation of a half-deity-level charm drawn using energies. The rising dragon pillar could absorb a vast amount of energy, and it was so strong that even the little girl could not fight it. Terrified by force, the little girl asked, "What the hell is in your body?" "So, you're afraid of what's inside my body, huh? Looks like you're not a human either. I might be able to advance to the second realm if I fully absorb you." Yi Mo increased the pulling force of the black hole and the little girl began to scream. She turned into runes and was absorbed into his body through the hole made by her on his shoulder. The runes kept changing. Sometimes it took the form of runes and other times, it took the form of the little girl and circled around Yi Mo's energy center. Yi Mo took a peek at the runes but was unable to decipher them. It was his first time witnessing a charm in human form. The rising dragon pillar. The little girl shouted with shock and terror while inside Yi Mo's energy center. "So you know of the rising dragon pillar? Looks like you're not a normal spirit. If I could completely absorb you now, I might be able to summon more dragon energies." The black hole began to pull with more force, thrashing around his energy center. Even the 5 elements energy began to shake a little. The little girl turned fully into complex runes and was being pulled towards the black hole. The little girl was completely terrified and quickly begged, "Please, don't kill me. I'll teach you how to create charms." "I'm not interested in charms. I'm not forgiving you since you tried to kill me just now," Yi Mo said as the black hole continued to pull the runes towards it. The little girl began to cry in a pitiful voice. If no one had known, it would have sounded like Yi Mo was bullying a little girl. "You evil human, I was finally free, and now you want to kill me. You tried to kill me first. Of course, I'm not letting you go," Yi Mo said as the black hole weakened. The little girl noticed the force had weakened and retook its human form. "Please, let me go. I'll tell you the woman's secret too," the little girl begged. Now that she was in his body, Yi Mo could easily kill her. Yet the little girl managed to release many high-level charms in such a short time. She definitely had overwhelming strength. If he could keep her inside of him, she might be able to help him when he needed it. "Fine, I won't kill you. But don't even think about betraying me again," Yi Mo said. A charm appeared in the little girl's hand, and she sat on it like a flying carpet. "Now that I'm in your body, I can only manifest my energy form. If I want to become a charm spirit again, I'll need the help of a celestial-level charm master to redraw my charm runes." "Who are you then? And what's with the girl in the armor?" Yi Mo asked. "Looks like you aren't very good with charms, huh?" "My name is Linger, and I'm actually a charm," the little girl said proudly. "A charm? Isn't a charm just a piece of paper?" "Yeah, and you're just a pile of muscles," the little girl insulted while shaking her leg. Charm masters can be divided into 9 levels: entry level, basic level, intermediate level, advanced level, master level, grandmaster level, mortal level, celestial level, and finally deity level. Charms can also be divided into different levels, Linger continued to explain. From the lowest rank 1 to rank 6, and the continued with mortal level, celestial level, and deity level. And I myself am a charm that's between the celestial and deity level. That's why I'm a half-deity level charm, which has the power to manifest a human form. A deity-level charm that could take on a human form has infinite mysterious runes on them made by a deity-level charm master. No one knew the method to make one except for the master himself. "I see. I can spare your life, on one condition. You'll help me to create charms when I need it. Oh, and can you put on some clothes too?" Yi Mo said. "Clothes? Have you ever seen a charm wearing clothes?" Plus I'm just a little girl. Are you a pedophile? Chapter 50. A huge power increase. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Nyo iwo Studio Editor. Nyo iwo Studio Linger has been around for more than 1,000 years, yet, all of her life she was stuck in that cave. She was created by a deity-level charm master to fight the Sky Blood Lady. The Sky Blood Lady is one of the ancient masters who wore the sky armor and wielded the Sky Blood Spear. Many deaths in the old time were on her hands. The Sky Blood Pearl was used to absorb all the evil energies that were released when people were killed. The more deaths it touched, the stronger the pearl gets. And with time, the pearl has evolved into an evil artifact. The charm master that created Linger had ordered her to seek and kill the Sky Blood Lady for the Sky Blood Pearl. Both Linger and the Sky Blood Lady fought for 10 days. The fight itself was devastating enough to destroy mountains and change the weather. Both of them sustained serious injuries during the fight. The boulders from the one of the destroyed mountain had sealed them in the cave. After many years have passed, the area around the cave became the Evil Valley. The Sky Blood Lady died from her injuries, while Linger was sealed in the cave by the evil energy for 1,000 years. Many martial artists had wandered into the cave seeking for treasures, yet all died in the hands of the evil energy, except for Yemo. A spirit-cultivating first-realm martial artist who can ignore the evil energy's effect. After arguing for some time, Linger took out a piece of charm and created a pretty dress. She wore the dress and stood on the magic carpet like charm like a little fairy. Linger, you said that this Sky Blood Pearl has absorbed the evil energies on the earth and in the sky. Doesn't that mean the Sky Blood Lady was trained in the unbeatable evil energy? Is it possible for me to use this pearl? Yemo asked. At least not now, you haven't reached the level to use that pearl yet. The little girl sat on the charm and said. But, if you were to increase your strength, it could help you tremendously. The Sky Blood Spear in your hand has lost its shaft, and the spearhead is heavily damaged. It could only be considered as a high-grade magic weapon as of now. But, if you are able to restore the spearhead to a celestial-grade weapon, and find a celestial-grade shaft for it, you could embed the pearl onto the shaft. That's when the Sky Blood Spear will return to its original form, an immortal weapon. The Sky Blood Spear was one of the 7 ancient evil weapons, an artifact that has reached the immortal level. An immortal weapon. Yemo swallowed his own saliva. An immortal weapon was something that he wouldn't even dare dream of. Weapons could be separated into 7 categories, namely the mortal weapon, magic weapon, spirit weapon, bejeweled weapon, celestial weapon, immortal weapon, and legendary artifact. Yemo had not even seen a spirit weapon with his own eyes before. What a bumpkin. Even if an immortal weapon is strong, it's still nothing when compared to a legendary artifact, Linger insulted. Then, do you know anything about the Rising Dragon Pillar? Yemo smiled awkwardly. The Rising Dragon Pillar holds an infinite amount of power and can absorb any type of energy, Linger explained. Rumor has it that there are a total of 1.5 billion dragons sealed onto the pillar. When all 1.5 billion dragons awaken, the wielder will have the power to shape nature, even the gods will have to tread carefully in front of it. But, I have no idea where the pillar came from. I might even be able to evolve into a deity-level charm with the help of this legendary artifact, then my body will grow even more. Hell, the way she is right now could already attract countless men. What beauty will she turn into if she continues to grow? Linger, as long as you help me along the way, I will look for a method to help you evolve into a deity. Level charm. I think it's time we leave this cave. Yemo kept the formation, breaking spear and the Sky Blood Pearl into the dimensional bracelet. He noticed the sky armor that was shining in the pit. This sky armor is a mysterious item. Its defense increases with the wearer's strength. But, only a girl could wear it. What a waste, Linger said. It's not. My friend could use it. Yemo also kept the armor into the dimensional bracelet and prepared to leave the cave. The trip into the cave was beneficial. Not only he subdued a charmed spirit that was near the deity level, but he'd also acquired the Sky Blood Pearl and Sky Armor, along with thousands of stabilizing pills. If he could refine those pills even further, the Prophet could help promote a whole clan to a higher level. Just as Yi Mo was about to leave the cave, the rising dragon pillar began to vibrate again. 10 of the dragons that were stuck to the pillar opened their red eyes and woke up. The 10 dragons freed themselves from the shackles and began to soar in Yi Mo's energy center, increasing the total of dragon energies to 36. Since Ling'er was a half-deity, level spirit charm, she could summon charms that were around rank 7 or 8. The intense energy on the charm was absorbed by Yi Mo, and it helped him to awaken the 10 dragon energy. Ling'er, could you summon more charms for me to absorb? Yi Mo asked with a sly expression. I could help you to wake more than 1,000 dragon energies if I'm not inside Tur Energy Center. Yet, now that I'm inside you, all that's left of me is a charm will. You'll have to rely on yourself to do that, Ling'er shook her head and said. Why didn't you say that earlier? Yi Mo scolded, yet he couldn't blame her. They used to be enemies, and he'd no idea that he could summon such a huge amount of dragon energy by just absorbing Ling'er's charms. Let's try if my mortal gate is able to withstand 7 dragon energies or not, Yi Mo said as he focused 7 dragon energies to his right hand's mortal gate. He gripped his hand, and the air exploded, his hand remained unharmed. I've never thought that advancing to the spirit-cultivating first realm could bring me so much power. Now my strength is on par with the 7th realm. Yi Mo smiled confidently. The level he was in could defeat Yi Changsheng with a mere slap. The air cleared as the evil energies have been absorbed by the Sky Blood Pearl. Just as Yi Mo was about to leave the valley, the 4 disciples from the Yi clan landed in front of him, re-energized and all staring at him. You actually survived the evil cave. Yi Dalong shouted in surprise. Even true energy realm martial artists have perished in the cave, and Yi Mo walked out of the cave unharmed. Why did the evil energy disappear? Where is your spear? Yi Tianxiao scanned Yi Mo up and down and noticed the dimensional bracelet on his wrist. Looks like you got quite the treasure from the cave. In all of Limestone City, only Yi Changsheng has the dimensional bracelet. I've never thought that would be able to get your hand on one. You're so dead. Dead. Yi Mo smirked. I think you guys should be the one planning your escape. I'm not leaving any one of you alive. A black light flashed, and the formation-breaking spear appeared on Yi Mo's hand. The spearhead shone brightly under the sunlight's reflection, it was seeking blood.